Hello, my name is Stan, and I like to draw spaceships. And with the 50th anniversary of Apollo's first landing coming up, I wanted to show you how to draw my absolute favorite spacecraft, the Lunar Excursion Module, or LEM. Alright, so the first step is to draw this kind of a flat box with a really square base. I'm going to do mine using 3-point perspective, mostly because I like to measure things out and do them really kind of carefully, but you don't really have to take it this far. This box is going to form the basis of your descent stage. Go ahead and subdivide that box into 9 equal parts, like this. And again, you don't have to take it this far. You can draw it very loosely or roughly, like this. And then we're going to cut off the corners of the box here and make it an octagon like so. These triangular sections is where they would store surface equipment and experiments, even the lunar rover eventually. Alright, then we're going to draw this reference shape for the landing gear. It's about 4 units across and 5 units high, and the whole thing would be about 1.5 times the height of the box you've just drawn. And then just go ahead and repeat that form on these 2 other faces of the octagon. Then you've got this great barn or house shape. This is going to go all the way around. And then just go ahead and fill out the struts like this. All right, now the reference box for the lunar ascent stage, the stage that separates and flies away after the mission is done. This part is going to be 5 units tall if your descent stage box is 4 units tall. This box should have a square front, and you're going to inscribe a circle inside that square. All right, then we're going to make a little reference circle for the fuel tank and another reference circle here for the oxidizer tank. Though from this angle it's not strictly necessary because you won't really see it. And you'll notice that the oxidizer tank is closer in, and that's because the oxidizer is a denser liquid, so it needs to be closer to the center line to balance the vehicle during the ascent. And then we're going to make this tall trapezoid for the nose. I'm going to call it the nose and kind of use face terminology from here on out. Then we make the nose stick forward a little bit with a curve along the bottom. Then you want to measure out this kind of zigzag cut-in, which forms the inside of the eye/window socket. Then the proud, stern brow ridge of the LEM. And you can reflect that over to the other side. And so you can draw in those wonderful, distinctive, triangular windows. All right, now some reference lines, orthogonal lines for the thrusters. And right underneath those thrusters, you have these deflection panels, which are meant to deflect the thruster fire away from that delicate descent stage. Then you can go ahead and draw in these reference shapes for the porch and the ladder. Now the fun part, we fill in the details. So you've got this trapezoid shape on top, and there's a circle, that's the docking port. Then you have this arched mound protrusion thing. This is where the rendezvous radar is attached. The rendezvous radar is really cool. It's used for docking and rendezvous. And it can orient itself in all sorts of directions, but I'm going to draw it in the up orientation. Then we have this lovely S-band antenna, which can also orient itself. And here in this little nook is the T-shaped optical docking target. Then we've got the 2 VHF antennas, and they have this crazy winding helical shape at the end, but you can draw a simplified version. And let's not forget the antenna used for EVA communication. Then you've got a few more details here on the face, including this wonderful navigation light, this little blinking light right in the middle, and a few little extra lines to show the recess and details of the hatch. So then you've got this interesting kind of half octagon hook shape that we're going to use to define the contour of the cladding around the spherical fuel tank. Then you've got this little strut that stretches from the chin to the fuel tank. Now we're ready to draw in the reaction control system thrusters. And they're attached to the main body with this sort of origami papercraft thing that you see going on all over the LEM. It's really great. You can fill out the deflector panels, and let's add some reference circles for the landing pads. All right, let's draw the landing gear. The first part is something called the outrigger assembly. Then down here you have this thing called the lock roller truss, which locks the landing gear out during deployment and holds it out stiff. Then you've got this outrigger strut that's part of the outrigger assembly. Then you've got the deployment truss, which actuates the deployment of the gear. And then we have this secondary strut. And then our X shape is the crossover assembly. And then that all connects to the primary strut, which connects to the landing pad. And you can reflect the details on the other side of the landing gear. So now that you've drawn it once, draw it 2 more times. Now you can fill out the porch and its little handrails. And then we've got the ladder. And before the bend, you've got 3 rungs, and then it's 7 rungs all the way to the end. And a few more lines to fill out the descent stage. And that's really all there is to it. I hope you love the LEM as much as I love the LEM. It's a wonderful spacecraft. It's a wonderful reminder of history and an exciting time. And it seems like we might be living through another very exciting space age. And I hope that some kid gets to grow up with a brand new spacecraft to inspire them deep into the future, just as the LEM inspired me, and I hope inspires all of you. Thanks for watching.